Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our November 10th Select Board meeting. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll start our meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. First, I'd like to take a roll call vote of our membership here. I'll start on this end.
Gary DePalma.
Jacob Gior here.
Kevin Kyra here.
Frank West here, and Lily Maselli is absent. Okay, so the next thing we'd like to do is review and sign payroll bills payable warrants out of session. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any questions? All in favor? 4 and 1, 4 and 4 with 0. Okay. We have no approval of minutes. We're a couple of minutes, actually, no, we're right on time. 7 o'clock to 7:10 appointment is Shelley Kohler, Treasurer of Mastorian Corporation, doing business as Burger King, number 8855, regarding request to amend common victular license to operate 24 hours on property located at 2280 Lowell Street. Could you come forward with anyone else that's from Burger King?
Yeah, so I'm not Shelley, obviously.
Okay.
But I am here to represent Mastering Corporation. I did do a one-page fact sheet just on some information about our company as well.
Okay.
as
Okay.
Burger King Wilmington.
For the record, while you're next to the microphone, you just state your name for the record, please.
My name is Ron Dimmick. I am the regional manager for the Burger King in Wilmington.
Thank you.
And I don't know if I can hand this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we are here today to request formal approval for operating our Wilmington Burger King 24 hours and to have a highway sign on the, on 93 stating that we're open 24 hours, and to replace the sign that's there because the sign is faded, which I noticed it definitely needs to be replaced. We are a local franchisee. We're based out of Waltham. Wilmington was one of our first restaurants before we expanded. We now own 52 restaurants in New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. And out of those 52 restaurants, 22 of them are open 24 hours, and we're adding more and more restaurants to go 24 hours. The business plan for restaurants has changed a lot since we first opened restaurants, where a lot of the business overnight tends to be delivery, which wasn't around until 2019. 2019 is when we signed up to do delivery with 3 partners. We do it with DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. And in Wilmington, we are doing 37% of our late night sales at delivery, and the rest are drive-through. So we know that Wilmington is a exception to the rule where it actually has more drive-through business than it does delivery overnight. There is a leadership team that is responsible for the restaurant with a lot of experience. Brett Kohler is the owner of our company. He's been the president and has worked for Burger King for 31 years. I'm the regional manager. I've worked for Burger King for 43 years. Sheila Montero, who is the district manager, has worked for 30 years for the restaurant, for our company, and she was the former restaurant manager of the Wilmington Burger King. So she cares a lot about Wilmington because that's her home store. And then we have Darlin Rodriguez, who is a restaurant manager, and he's worked for us for 4 years. And there are 25 employees that are currently working in the restaurant. Extended hours business, we do about 8 guests per hour after midnight. And again, 37% of it's delivery, 63% of it is drive-through. And we feel the benefits to being open 24 hours. It gives a dining option for Wilmington residents as well as the people that are traveling late at night coming back on 93, an option to be able to get food. I know that myself, I've landed at Logan Airport before late at night, and you've been traveling all day long, and you're hungry, and there's not a lot of places that are open that give you that option. And it's also an employment opportunity, not only for the crew, but for the management team as well, to be able to earn extra money. It gives delivery drivers an opportunity to earn more money by having a place they can work overnight, and it also makes it more convenient for some people to be able to work those hours. Some people aren't available to work earlier in the day, and that fits into their schedule better to be able to be open and offer those opportunities overnight, to give them an opportunity to earn extra income.
If you don't mind me asking, what are your hours now?
We are open 24 hours because
Okay.
Shelley, who isn't here, contacted the town of Wilmington last year, and she spoke to someone who I guess was from the Board of Health, who told us, she asked, what do we need to do to be open 24 hours? And she was told, you don't have to do anything. They said there was no procedure and to go ahead, and that came from, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, Kelly Malatesta was the person she had spoken to, who no longer works in the license department.
Okay, so we're required, just to, we do the police fire recommendations. Is there any other recommendations that we need to go over?
No, I think you have what you're.
So is this really for the
Well-
sign?
Yes.
For the sign?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is.
Well, that's how we started this whole process, because I wanted to get the sign replaced, and that's when we found
You
out.
know, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay, well, just want to, could we have discussion real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so your seconds for discussion. I know we have comments from both police and fire, I believe, in the affirmative.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make sure that we have that on record.
Yep. Yes, police and fire both approve it, as noted, because of kind of a little bit of a misunderstanding on the town side. They have been operating this way for a year. We haven't received any complaints from the neighbors. I don't think anybody realized that it was happening at the town level until they came back and asked about changing the highway sign,
Right.
which is the sign off the exit that they'll now say 24 hours.
Right.
And so we under that common victor license, we're going to change their hours to 24 hours. So that's the.
Okay, is there any?
Just a quick question. Will the sign be the same size?
Yes. And you'll be able to read it. 'Cause right now, it's very faded.
Okay, so we have a motion, we second for discussion. Any further discussion? Ready for a vote? All in favor of giving the license for the sign, or anybody opposed? Okay, 4-0.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Is
And
there anything else that we need to do? I want to make sure we do everything right.
Yeah. So this allows you to have the 24 hours. You talked about the highway sign. I don't know if we'd known about the building sign. Is the building sign what's faded, or it's the highway sign?
goes the highway.
The highway.
Just the highway sign's faded.
24 hours.
So
Okay,
they need.
State approval.
From the town to give to the state.
State.
that
yeah. It could be open
the
24
law
hours.
authorizes them to be open 24 hours, and the license will do it with their hours on it.
So that was. So you should be all set.
Okay,
You'll sign it tonight, and then I'll get it
Shelley.
to Shelley, okay?
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have our 7:10 appointment. I apologize if I butcher the name. It looks like Urjona Solari? What's that?
Escalade.
Escalari, my apologies. And that's Or Pizza LLC, doing business as Peter's Roast Beef, regarding request to obtain a common vic license for property located at 2 Lowell Street. Would you like to come forward, please? Talk to us about if you could state your name for the record, and then tell us what you're looking to do.
My name is Oriana Escolari. I'm the new owner of Peter's Pizza and Roast Beef. It's a new experience for us, and we like to operate the business, keeping everything the same, and same hours, and do the best to serve the clients, the community, and other clients that come in our pizza place.
Okay. Is there going to be any change in menu, any change in hours, any changes that?
No, everything will be the same.
Okay, would you like to say just a little bit about your business while we got you?
Yes, it's, like I said, this is a new experience for me, and we try to serve the most wanted one, the roast beef sandwich. That is one the client usually likes to have to order, and also the pizzas, salads during operating hours.
Okay.
Satisfy them with our service.
Any comments from the board?
No, just a question, would you be doing catering services for the public?
Hopefully.
I see someone nodding his head,
Yes.
yes. I just want to let the public know
Yes.
that you have that,
We want to, yes,
okay,
we want to.
good.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Is there, I
I'll make a
believe we have
motion.
all the necessary approvals.
We do, although I do think we're still waiting for the hours.
We need the hours to come out.
Okay, so, so
Well, hold on.
what we'll do is we don't have your hours of operation.
Oh, okay. 11 to 9 p.m.
Monday, 7 days? Yeah.
11 to 9, 7 days a week. Okay, perfect. So we'll just have to put that on the certificate, so.
Okay, is there a motion to grant the common victual license?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 4-0.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Welcome to Wilmington. We look forward to seeing your establishment.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Okay, moving right along, 7:20. We okay to do that a few minutes early?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a public hearing, so we can go
Okay,
early.
7:20, David Bradley, Administrator, Lowell Regional Transit Authority, regarding proposed bus service to Wilmington. There's another chair if you want to push that forward, sir, whatever's your pleasure.
Good evening, Chairman West and Select Board members. Thank you very much for the invitation tonight for us to come here and present an opportunity to the town of Wilmington for additional transit services here.
Okay, for the record, sir, if you could just state the name of your, and I would like to recognize Tewksbury Select Board Chief, Select Board Mark Kratman. So I know Mark's been instrumental in working with you folks and working with the town of Wilmington on this, so we appreciate your efforts, Mr. Kratman.
Perfect. And I've got, to my left, I've got Justin Howard, who's our Director of Operations and Planning. And to the right, I've got George Anastas. He's our General Manager of our fixed route service. So tonight, we're just gonna come and talk to you a little bit about an opportunity that we see is available to your community. And, you know, at no extra cost to the community. And I'd like to just tell you a little bit about the LRTA, tell you what we're proposing, and talk a little bit about how to fund it. So the LRTA is one of 15 transit authorities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We were established under 161B in Mass General Laws in 1976, and we serve 14 member communities, of which are on the screen. The communities in dark blue are communities that receive fixed route service, paratransit service, and council on aging services. The communities in light blue are communities that we provide, or we work with to provide senior service or council on aging service. And the communities in white are non-LRTA communities, but communities that we do serve with some services. We are funded by federal, state, and local funds, and we're tasked with promoting and providing safe, reliable fixed route bus service and complimentary paratransit service to our communities. Just go over your current services that you have in Wilmington. And as of fiscal '26, you've got, you're a member of the MBTA, and your cherry sheet assessment is $592,133. You've got 2 MBTA commuter rail stations on Main Street and North Wilmington. You currently have no MBTA fixed route service. You do have 1 vehicle over at the Council on Aging that's used mainly for the seniors, for shopping and medical. And as you see on the screen, there is a short portion of the portion of 12 of the LRTA services that go from the Tewksbury Town Line to the Wilmington train station. So we not only provide the fixed route service there, but a corridor, a buffer of 3/4 of a mile on each side for ADA services. On the screen, you will also notice that we've got, in your area, we've got Route 13, that's an LRTA route, and the 14 that's in brown. Both of those originate at the Lowell commuter rail station and terminate, 13 terminates at Lacash's and the 14 terminates at Leahy. So those are services that we currently have available in this area, but there's no real connection to the town of Wilmington. So what we're looking to do is to come to you tonight and just present an opportunity and see if you're interested in joining the LRTA. So currently you are a member of the MBTA, but because you don't have fixed route service, there's an ability for you to also join the Regional Transit Authority to get that service. And, the other thing is, what we do is we go and we use the current cherry sheet assessment. Part of it that goes to the MBTA would go to our service, and I can explain that a little bit later. But benefits to the community with public transit is increased opportunities for businesses and residents. And the big thing here that we see in most of our communities is it improves senior mobility. That's a big thing. We work with the Council on Aging and as well as the ADA service that supplements the fixed route service. And it promotes economic development. Public transit connectivity helps move the customers to employment, medical, and shopping. And thanks to the governor's budget this year, all of our trips, all of the fares for our trips are free for the next year.
Has that been
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
So
has that been a longstanding free
this is our second
service?
full year.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same
Sorry,
thing.
so this is our second full year
Okay.
of fare-free. And as long as that funding is there, it will continue to be free.
What would it be if there was no funding about? Like, what's the cost typically?
In
It's about $1.25 in town, and if you go from one town to another town, $1.85.
Okay. Thank you.
So one of our proposals, after talking with the manager and the assistant manager, just to find out what the needs are, the transit needs and the unmet need here in the town, we came up with this option, and it's essentially a fixed route bus service that runs south from Wilmington Station to Macy's. We would start at the Wilmington train station, head down 62, stopping at the senior housing at Demings Way, continue south to Lacash's Bakery, where we would not only have a stop there, but we would meet up with the MBTA bus line. And then we would continue south on 3A to Burlington Mall Road. And Burlington Mall Road, the route would terminate at the Macy's at the mall. And then it would repeat that same trip back.
And the return trip, we stop at the clinic, we have a bus shelter right at the front door. If you'll just say one thing, sorry to interrupt, but on the fares, it's 50% off for seniors.
Okay.
But right now, it's free.
Correct.
Right now, yes.
So they gotta renew it.
So anybody, theoretically, anyone can take the service, not just seniors?
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
it's open to everyone.
Thank you.
And so, as listed here, potential stops would include the senior housing, Lacashes, Leahy, and Burlington. And we would also provide that cushion, three-quarter mile cushion on each side for ADA services. In addition to that, we would also be connecting with the LRTA Route 13 and 14, which is Lacashes, and down to Burlington Mall. If somebody was, if a Wilmington resident was needing to go to Billerica, they could take that, make the connection at 13, or if you had employees that were coming into your town from Billerica or Lowell, they could also take that as an alternate route. The other nice thing about this route here is there's connection points to not only at the LRTA, but the MBTA bus line. And that connection starts at Lacashes and continues down 3A all the way to the Burlington Mall. So there are a number of places that if a customer was on the bus and wanted to connect with MBTA, they could do that at multiple points. So we connect with the 350 and the 354. And the route that we propose is an hour-long route. It's from the Wilmington train station to Macy's is a half hour, and then the inbound would also be a half hour.
And how often is the cycle? How often does it run?
It would be on the hour. So that the bus,
24/7?
no,
No.
no. Right now, what we propose is, I think, 7 to 7. 7 to 7.
Every hour.
Every hour.
It goes one way, every hour it goes back the other way.
So we would leave, say we would leave operating on the half hour, starting at like 7 o'clock. It would leave Wilmington at 7, be at the Burlington Mall by 7:30, and then it would turn around and be back to the Wilmington train station by 8.
Okay.
And then it would repeat that.
Okay.
And from the Wilmington to Lacashes, how many stops would there be? Sorry.
You gotta get on and get to Lacashes quick, right?
Well, that's one of the
Hemingway.
things we would talk about, because we have two different types of stops. We either have fixed stops, well, it would be an actual marked bus stop, or we would have what's called the flag system. So if somebody if they were walking down the street and they saw the bus, they could just wave the bus down, and we would stop, as long as it's in a safe location.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I get to Lacashes real quick. Before the MBTA buses that are parked behind it get in line to buy.
8 minutes.
And that's what we do. We try to, it's sort of difficult to balance the scheduling, to match up with the MBTA commuters' schedule, but we would do our best to align our 12 with the commuter rail and this proposed new route. So there would not be a lot of wait time between the connections.
No, are there wheelchairs allowed on the bus, or,
All of our buses are 100% wheelchair accessible.
so what do you have, 2 spots for wheelchairs, 2, 3?
On most of our buses, 4.
4, okay, good.
Okay, so now I just want to talk to you a little bit about the financing of the project. So, as we said earlier, in the red chart, your current MBTA assessment is $592,000. And under this scenario of the phase 1, or the proposal that we had, that service is cost of about $460,000 a year with the ADA services. So the way that this would work out is on the cherry sheet, you would see the same $592,000, but of that, $460 would be allocated to regional transit. The balance would remain at the MBTA line item, and the net change between your current cherry sheet and the proposal wouldn't, the net cost wouldn't change at all. And the reason for that is because of Mass General Law 161A. The RTAs were conceived under 161B. MBTA was 161A. And in 161A, under Section 9, a city or town that is also a member of a regional transit authority or that at any time joins a regional transit authority shall have 100% of the amount of that assessed for the operations of the regional transit authority credited against the MBTA, against the share of the assessment. So what happens in that case, and we've done this in other locations, it's the MBTA offset. What happens in that case, that 460,000 would be reassessed to the core communities, the 14 core communities, as well as the additional 51 communities. So that and the majority of that goes to the core communities, and the additional 51 is responsible for 3% of that total amount. So the net change of all of this on your cherry sheet the numbers, the bottom line is going to stay the same. The good thing about this scenario is if we go this route, of the 592, 460, if it's used for this route as designed, it would give you an opportunity to do other things in the community. We've laid out a couple other potential phases here. Phase 2 is just capital, 100% capital. So we talked about the Council on Aging vehicle. So that vehicle is nearing the end of its useful life and will need to be replaced soon. If you're not part of a transit authority, the community would bear that cost on their own, or they'd go out and look for a grant and pay at least 20%. If you're, with us, the LRTA would pay 100% of the cost of that vehicle and future vehicles if needed to provide future council on aging services. And that would be at 100% through our capital budget. And then, so that wouldn't affect this scenario at all in blue.
Can I ask a quick question? Now, when you're saying the vehicle, are you saying vehicle and maintenance or just purchase of the vehicle?
Well, we would go and do the phase 2 would just be the purchase of the vehicle. What you're asking about the maintenance would take place in phase 3.
Okay.
So we would work with the community to build that next phase, whatever it would be. If you said the unmet need is COA service, we need more hours and we need a second vehicle. That's what we look at spending that 132,000 is to get you to the point where you've got the fixed route service covered and you've got the senior service covered. So that would be the way we would look at doing it. And again, that maintenance piece would be in phase 3.
And the 132,000 comes from that difference between the 593 and the 460, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
So that,
And the MBTA is okay with giving up $460,000?
well, they don't give it up.
No,
No, because it's reassessed to,
Right.
so that is reassessed to
Okay.
the, to member communities. And, as part of this, it's a way.
almost feels like you're being overcharged, meaning the town's being overcharged $460,000
Well, I don't know if they're being.
by the MBTA.
No, I'm not saying that that's the case.
Well, no, I am.
What I'm saying is,
Good way to look at
it gives you an opportunity to put that into service. And what's gonna happen with the MBTA, so we talked about our routes feeding the MBTA service. So, right now, there's an opportunity, if you time it right, to take the commuter rail into Boston. This scenario that we put out there gives you an opportunity, the commuter, an opportunity to not only take the commuter rail, but to also make the connections, if you're not going all the way into Boston, at other spots along the way for the 350 and the 354 MBTA bus routes. And this is an effort to create connectivity with our region and others. And this definitely does that. This gets more opportunity into the city. And so,
If I could just speak real quick, Mr. Chair. So as you saw from the earlier map, Townsend is one of the ancillary communities that works with the LRTA. So I can speak from experience having worked there that the Council on Aging vehicles were provided by the LRTA. They had multiple vans. The second van was, the driver was paid for by the LRTA. So they definitely do that capital work for the municipalities. And then when I was in town, so we worked with MART, which is the more westerly transit authority, to put up service. And we did this exact thing where we took our assessment from the MBTA, which was much smaller than Wilmington's. It was like 25,000. But we took that assessment and got on-demand shuttle service down to Fitchburg from Townsend. So this definitely works. It feels like we're getting something for nothing, but because of the way that the regional transit authorities work, and that is the way that assessment gets shifted, we are allowed to shift our MBTA assessment to get fixed service here in town. And so from our perspective, when Judy and I started talking to Mr. Kratman and the rest of the LRTA staff about this last year, and I think they've worked really hard to come up with a really a viable route that looks like it's going to provide a lot of benefits to the folks in town. Just that connectivity down to Burlington and Leahy. That's so many of our trips are already down there. So many of our seniors need to get to those locations for doctor's appointments. We already do a significant amount in our senior van of drives down to Leahy, and so this would enable us to expand our senior service without kind of a cost to the town by being able to use both the ADA services that come along with this, and also the seniors that can use the fixed route service can just hop right on a bus and it takes them right to their appointment. So,
Because right now, we're not getting, we get the fact that we have 2 NVTA stops, but we're not really getting any services for that money, other than the fact that the train does stop there and people are paying full train fare to go where they want.
right.
So I think this sounds like a good bang for the buck. Scarewa.
So I'm going to ask probably a tough question in a sense. So in my world, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I'm in finance, right? I get it. What would be the reason we wouldn't join it?
Can I answer that? There isn't one. So as the selectman in Tewksbury, I serve on, and I serve a couple of citizens community. I'm the president of the chamber in Wilmington, Tewksbury. I was on council on aging. I'm on the Friends of the Elderly. I sit and talk with our seniors all the time. You're losing nothing. You're paying this no matter what. It's coming out of your tax dollars are going to the MBTA. This service is going to provide you additional services for your community. You're going to actually save money. Not only would you be paying this, you're going to pay this no matter what, the $5.90.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you need a van, it's coming out of your general funds and you have to come up with it. By joining, you get a van in the future, maybe additional, and you no longer have to ask the taxpayers to pay for that. And when you get to phase 3, the care, the maintenance, the drive up, all those fees. So instead of staying with the MBTA, you actually get additional money, you provide additional services. And when you're talking to the seniors, they're all trying to get to, you have one van. This whole community, I don't know how many seniors or how many people are trying to get to the Leahy. It's a very, very busy place. A lot of them can't get the services, and this will give you additional options to get there. They can take the bus. It's gonna help both communities. It's gonna help my community, because I'll have people that will be able to go through this, connect right through, and add additional services. We all know how busy 38 is. And so the goal of this, like we talked about, it's fare free for now. Well, Merrimack Valley Transit has had fare free for quite a while. I think the goal is with the state is that I don't see this going away. It may go away. There's no crystal ball to say this, but it makes no sense to have additional cars on the roadway if you can get people off the roadway. We changed around our route in Tewksbury.
to change it a couple of ways. I serve on the board of the Tewksbury representative to the LRTA. If Wilmington joins, they'll have a representative, then you come to the board meetings and we talk about this. We sit there, we discuss, we talk with staff, and we talk about what we need as services. Like you mentioned, where would the bus routes be? That's up to you. You tell them where you need them, they provide them. You know your town better than they know it. So you tell them what you need and they'll do it. They can put flag service, or they can put specific spots if you think that's where people will wait. You know the community, they don't. You tell them what you need. I've done it in my town. I put bus shelters in different locations because I know I'll have seniors waiting. I put bus shelters in front of the senior center, in front of the library, in front of certain places where there'll be, the only thing you have to do is you have to work to make sure the care and maintenance of them, you have to find somebody that will take care of them. The LTA is not gonna send a maintenance crew to clean them. You're just gonna work a partnership, which I've done in my community. But there's no loss to you. All you do is get additional services for the money you're already spending, and in the long run, you're actually saving money because you don't have to buy these vans and you don't have to pay for drivers.
It's funny, I was just gonna ask, when you talked about the bus shelters, is that something that this provides as well, or is that on our dime to?
So what we do for the bus shelters, we'll provide the capital, we'll purchase the shelter for you to your specs, as long as it's, you know,
Yeah.
outside the
Spec.
historical community.
Yeah.
But we'll provide that, but the agreement that we have with the community is they'll install and maintain.
Okay.
You can, I want to think, so with the chamber that I represent, and I go around in both Wilmington and Tewksbury, we're building a lot of businesses. And we just had 2 new places that have licenses. We're going busy as well. I'm adding additional services in my time. I've talked to business owners, I've talked to things. Our bus in Tewksbury is the 2nd busiest bus in all the LRTA. That's in Lowell. How many riders do we have?
Just about 100,000 last year.
100,000 riders on the bus that goes
On that
through.
route.
That's 100,000 people that don't take their car up and down the road. So there's, and when you're looking at businesses, a lot of it is employees who are trying to get to work that do not have a vehicle, they're taking it, going to these local businesses. You got kids that are going from school, may want to hop on, the parents don't have to take them. It's just something that I think is a real big benefit to your community.
Question regarding the driver. You would pay for for a driver for the bus, the small bus, right?
That would be under phase 1.
Right. Now,
Yes.
is that a financial reimbursement to the town, or would that driver be a member of?
They would work for the community, and we, at the end of the month, you would send us an invoice for all of the expenses for that service for that month.
And so-
we would reimburse you, you know.
We'd have the right to hire.
You would do all
No,
the
no.
hiring, we would just establish a budget with you. It would sort of like be a subsidy from the LRTA
Mhm.
to the community. And you would run your service the way you need to, from developing your budget to hiring.
Now, on the route itself and where the pickup and drop-offs would be, during the course of the year, we find that we're having a lot of people say, gee whiz, could you get a stop here? Because the kids want to grab the bus because they're working at the mall. We just present that to you, and then in collaboration with the town, we see if that's a feasible place for.
Exactly, we would go look at the spot, make sure that it's safe for stopping, and if it was, we could establish a stop there.
Yeah, we definitely want to work with the community on specific locations for stops.
And we'd work with the police department as well to get an opinion on the safety area or not.
Thank you.
And you were saying that the driver would be a town employee that we would hire, and they're our position.
Right, they would be your employee.
Yeah.
The one thing that we would do, though, we would be responsible,
Certified.
if we gave
Certifications.
you a vehicle, the LRTA would be responsible for overseeing the maintenance, the drug and alcohol testing of the driver. Even though they're your employee, they would be in our pool. And also, we would be responsible to do the trainings for, the state trainings for those drivers, and we would oversee that as well.
So you would be liable for any certifications, and it wouldn't be the town that would be doing any certifications to operate the buses?
For certifications,
For road runner, Dave?
for road,
A CDL is not required. All of our fixed bus routes, CDL is required passenger endorsement. You have to pass the state police test. We have an in-house CDL trainer, so we do all of that. But we do have training for wheelchair securement and all of that. We provide that.
Similar to like what the school bus companies do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
so those are the type of things that we would provide, and, you know, it would also include pre-employment drug testing as well. So we would be overseeing the, you know, the drug and alcohol piece, the training, the state trainings that are required, and we do offer a lot of extra safety trainings.
Oh, that's good.
So this actually is really timely because, as was mentioned before, our senior van is at a point where we've already had a capital project to purchase it. However, we're having real trouble getting suppliers to meet our need. So we're not sure when we're going to get that bus. So if this was something that we could do, we would then look to the LRTA to try to figure out what kind of timeline they have for getting us a senior van. So, I mean, we might save us $100,000, you know, right off the bat from being able to work that bus.
And we've put a timeline together just to see if we wanted to have a start date for July 1st in the fiscal year. This is essentially the timeline that we have to work under. November 2025 is now. We come to you, do a presentation, you know, whether there's a decision tonight or not. There can be back and forth conversations, more fact-finding, until a decision is made whether or not you want to proceed. If you do want to proceed, you would just present a letter to me, and I would bring it to our advisory board for a vote. And once that was approved, and there was a letter of intent to move forward, we'd have to move pretty quick. We'd have to establish with you bus stops. Internally, we'd have to finalize the routes, develop schedules, hire drivers to get all this to happen. Typically, it takes 4 or 5 months for new employees to be hired, go through all of our trainings, and be prepared to go out on the street. And so we'd start that process, and then the rest of the time, we would be, you know, working with you to promote and advertise the new service, and get essentially the new route structure put together.
Now, one of the things that the LRTA offered to do was to bring a bus down to the senior center, so that while it was open, so the senior, and it kind of explained to the seniors how the bus works, and, you know, they'd be able to kind of a hands-on, like a touch a truck day, but only at the senior center. They've offered to kind of to take us on a sample route, which we would invite the select board to.
They can sing the song, "The Wheels on the Bus."
Wheels
Go
on the
Round."
Bus.
Gone and round.
Yeah, so I mean, this is, when this came up, you know, Judy and I talked about it, and like I said, we talked with the LRTA. This really does feel like a win-win for the town to be willing to join the LRTA and get this sort of a service for all of our residents. I can just imagine, you know, kids who want to work at the mall, they, you know, parents not having to take
Parents
their
too.
kids to the mall to work, you know, and being able to get on a fixed bus service back and forth, I think just be huge for the folks.
How often does the advisory board meet, and when do they meet?
Normally, the fourth Thursday of the month, we have a 1 o'clock time slot. It's either in person or remote. And we do have a recess around the holidays and one during the summer. So total, we meet
About 8 times.
8 times a year.
And where is the location?
It's at the commuter rail station in Lowell. That's where our headquarters is.
The Gallagher terminal.
You can hop
What?
on the 12 and go right out to
Yeah, you know,
the terminal.
One more question? I see some buses now, especially in town, and I know it's different in rural, so to speak. They're having, you're able to put your bike on.
Yes.
You're gonna have, will those be on these type of buses also? So that they can put a bike on it?
All buses have that capability.
Thank you very much.
And all buses have wheelchair capabilities.
Is there any other?
One last thing, can we have a picture of the bus?
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
They're not, when you hear the bus, you're thinking a lot of times of like the old MBTA buses.
No.
The blue ones where you get the little blue seats and things like that. These are totally different. These are, you get
Those are
inside,
older
they're like a
buses.
luxury.
That's our
bus.
older.
There's plenty of room inside, there's handicap accessibility, there's places for people to get inside the thing. And it's, once you get on the thing, it's almost like a, you know, like you rent something to go to Foxborough. And it's like one of those, that's what they're like, that's why I would like people to see it. They're really nice, and it's something that I think the community will enjoy using.
Gee, I could take the bus from my house to meetings.
We recently had 10 new buses come in. 6 of the 10 are 35-foot hybrid electric buses. The other, that is a 30-foot Gillig diesel bus. And we have, Dave, can you correct me if I'm wrong on this, over the next year and a half, 2 years, we have 17 new buses coming in. A good portion of those will be hybrid electric.
Are we looking for a motion, or should we wait for Lil?
Well, so we did not schedule a motion for tonight, you know, but the plan was to bring one back for the next meeting. But, you know, that we do have a potential for votes to be taken at this sort of time, but
I like this idea.
I do.
I'm supportive of it, but I think we're missing a member of the board, and I think we should all be here for it. Although she wasn't here for the presentation, she got the packet.
Right.
So I would feel more comfortable having all 5.
yeah, the
here.
plan was
But
to have a
that's
board
my
to
opinion.
consider on the 24th.
Okay.
In the meantime, if she has any questions or wants to talk with us directly, if that's all right.
Sure.
We can do that.
Absolutely.
We can certainly reach out to her and see if she has any questions and
And our contact information.
put her in touch with anybody who we think can answer them.
So if you need to reach us, that's how you.
Any final, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay. Any final
Tom,
comments
thanks.
from the board? Any final
I'm
comments?
excited about it, that's all. I think this is a perfect
great.
win-win for Wilmington.
The only comment I have in closing is just that I think it's a good opportunity for the community. You know, you can add service at really no extra cost, and you're gonna focus on the senior population and economic development. If you're looking at doing anything up here, this would be a good way to bring workers up into this area without having cars.
Oh.
But we appreciate. Oh, yeah, and we left a handful of schedules of our current route system.
20 of these bus schedules.
So feel free to look at that, see what our current system is. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out. We appreciate the opportunity to come in here, so thank you.
No, we appreciate the presentation. And again, I'd like to specifically thank Chair Kratman for basically working with Wilmington to kind of, show us a bridge into Wilmington from your experience with Tewksbury. So again, thank you.
Like I said, I'm also the president of the chamber, so working with the businesses, this is something I take pride in, and just trying to find, we share 38. If I can get roads, I mean, going to Wilmington and Tewksbury at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If we can get a couple of vehicles off the roadway, and we can get kids to work, seniors to their doctor's appointments, we can get to Lakash's. It's a win-win-win. So when we do this trip, that we're gonna go on the park, I think we go from Wilmington to Lakash's and back.
And you may see this gentleman
Yeah.
frequent on the bus if that's the.
Yeah, you have to put a flag at, I'm just off of Burlington Ave, so you have to flag there.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very
John.
much.
Thank you, thank you
Hold
very
on
much.
just 1 second. I'm sorry, our
Just one
Assistant
quick
Town
comment,
Manager.
Just to Judy O'Connell, Assistant Town Manager, I wanted to just also let the board know while we're here, sure that proof of concept and that this proposal mirrored something that would work with the senior center. We did talk about pedestrian safety in terms of the senior center onboarding and offboarding as well as that way. So back to the safety piece, we would certainly follow up on that. We've had some preliminary conversations with DPW about if you were to get any sort of, area for people to wait for the bus, if they would maintain them moving forward, and Jamie felt confident that that's something that they could work in with their team. Terry and her team were very, very enthusiastic and very, very excited. Also, too, the LRTA has legal experience with Mark Rich and KP Law, so that is another avenue of endorsement for how well LRTA runs and operates. So certainly, we know Mark, and that's another third-party validation of just the expertise and the delivery of services that they can bring to the community. And I'd also like to thank Mark, as Eric has thanked Mark, because this is a partnership with neighboring communities, and it takes a lot for a volunteer elected official to kind of reach over to another zip code and try and partner, and everybody benefits for it. And Mark has really been a staunch advocate for this program and has been trying to work with us to bring this forward. So he spent a lot of time on his own behalf to see that Wilmington benefits from this, and obviously Tewksbury will as well. So I can't say enough about the experience working with the representatives from LRTA and with Mark as a neighbor next door to try and bring this to fruition for the town. This is definitely a value-added service. I can see people of all ages of varying interests benefiting from this, and especially if we can maximize the dollars that we're already paying, everybody in this community will benefit. So certainly we did phase it as a two-step approach, that you weren't being asked to make a decision on the first read, but it sounds like everyone is feeling positive about this. If there's anything that I can do to get questions answered on behalf of Eric as his assistant, or put people in touch, whether it's Lil with LRTA, I can be the point person to help Eric set up this follow-up meetings.
Awesome, thank you, Judy.
One comment that impressed me the most was, number one, as Mark has said, if we get one car off the road, but it's getting people to and from. And the fact that if we had a group of people come to us, or an individual, and say, gee, is there any chance we can get a stop here? And we review it, make a determination that it would be beneficial, not just for the community, but for the bus company also, that you'll respond to it in a very quick manner, instead of having to wait, a few years to get a hold of anybody.
Safety's the number one thing.
And that-
So if you're talking a spot that needs to be reviewed, you look at that immediately, so there's no safety issues at all.
Well, I know a number of kids that work at the mall, and, their moms and dads are shuttling them down there all the time. If they can find a safer, inexpensive way of transporting them there, they're gonna jump on it. I know they will. They'll, but thank you very much. I really appreciate everything for the.
One last comment out there, and I was just thinking as we're talking about the stops, the one thing that I learned working with the LRTA doing this, and we came up a couple of circumstances that I was kind of shocked at, where we had some seniors that were getting off and there was no accessibility and this and that. So it's a true partnership between the town and the LRTA. So if you select spots and you have a need someplace, there's schools, senior facilities, doctor's office, you're gonna know the area specifically that you think that maybe like a stop would maybe warranted, or maybe a bus shelter because people will be congregating there, or whatever it may be. But we'd have to work with the town to make sure that if we're putting a spot there, we'd have to have the DPW and town go up there and make sure there's handicap accessibility. Because you don't wanna drop somebody off on a corner and find out there's curbs out there and there's no crosswalks. So you work, that's why you have a representative, you select a representative from your board, say, I'm gonna be the person, you come to the board, you talk with us, we say, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do whatever we're gonna do to make it better. But you actually have the whole say of where you want it to go, what the need is, but you also have some, where, we wanna have sight distances where people can get across the road safely, so if a bus is stopping there, I wanna go around the corner, those type of things. It's all things you have to take into consideration, but you work with your DPW, you put the stops up there, you put some handicap accessibility, and make sure they can get across safely if they get off the bus. So that's really where, when you're coming up, like where will the bus stop, you kind of, it's not something we say, we're gonna stop every other block. You gotta kind of, what's safe and where can you get them across safely? That's where the final answer is.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. We have our 7:40 appointment, Brian Pooper, Police
Mark,
Chief.
thank you.
And Dan Forbush, Police Sergeant, Wilmington Police Department, regarding the 2025 Santa Parade.
He's right there.
He's there.
The sergeant probably heard Lakash's a few times.
And he's gone there, right?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Trying to sneak earlier, but my squeaky shoes caught me.
We want to talk about the 2025 Santa Parade. We're getting near that time. Oh, no.
Yes, thank you so much for having us here today. Yes, the holiday season is upon us, and as such, we wanted to come speak about the Santa Parade that's been going on since 2015. Sergeant Furbush has brought this to the community, led these efforts. He's passionate about it, so I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Dan Furbush and let him elaborate and discuss the Santa Parade.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Like the chief said, this is going to be our 11th year. It's a little early than normal, which is good, so we can kind of get the word out. But we're hoping for another successful year. For people that don't know, this is the time that we go around town. We drive through the neighborhoods. We have Santa, some friends of his on trucks. We make it a day, and we try to make it a good day. But we also use that time to try to give back to the community. And the way that we typically do that is we collect food for the Wilmington Food Pantry along the route. We encourage people, if they want to donate food. And then we also pair up with the Wilmington Fire Department with the Wilmington, the Toys for Wilmington Children, which is a program that the fire department does, that all the toys, clothing, and stuff that gets donated that we pick up goes to people in Wilmington. It's been a great program that's been going on for years, and we just decided that when we started this program that we would try to merge the two to help benefit the town. So what we're looking for is December 7th. It's a Sunday, right after the tree lighting. We picked that. We usually try to pick the first week of December because we have, I know usually like the week after there's like a road race and stuff like that goes on. So we try and fit everything in with the holidays without getting too close to the holidays and make it tough for everybody. So we are looking at December 7th, obviously with the town's approval. Kick off at 8:30. We usually drive around town for several hours during the day. And it's been a great program because usually it entitles volunteers throughout the community, plus the police department, the fire department, public works. Usually we get a whole bunch of volunteers that help out. And we're looking to do that again this year. Only thing that we actually need from the town, which we've been doing for the last few years, is this year, it's usually like around 11 o'clock in the morning. We do like to use this parking lot as a staging area for children who have sensory issues, whether they're autistic or they have sound sensitive issues, like where they can't have the sirens, they can't have the music, they can't have the loud noises, it scares them. So what we typically do is we have them stage here, and we drive through the parking lot with no sirens, no music. It allows them to have an opportunity to enjoy the same parade that everyone else is, and it's been a huge hit. We get a lot of requests to continue doing it. A lot of parents that have children that have sensory issues, it's a big hit. So like you said, that's one thing we would be looking for the town, is if you guys would be okay if we drive there. We wouldn't need to use the building. It's just a staging area for kids to kind of watch the parade go through without there being any issues. And the other thing we'd like to try to do again this year, this is our third year doing it. We kind of want to get the word out. If anyone would like to reach out, we have a Facebook page, the Wilmington Mass Santa Parade page. They can also reach out to me. I can provide my email if you guys would like A new thing we've been doing is a family. If anyone knows a family with a child that has either a physical or a developmental, or like if they maybe have cancer or something, they can't get out and see us. What we've been doing the last few years is we've actually been going to them. So we put it out there. We actually bring the parade right to their doorstep. And Santa and his friends will actually go to the house, and if the parent wants to provide a gift, a wrapped gift, Santa will provide that to the child. And I think it's a great way to kind of bring the parade and the experience to people that can't come out. So we're definitely always looking for anyone that may have a family in mind. It's fun, it's great, and we just love to see all the smiling faces with the kids and stuff like that. And as I mentioned before, we're not pushing for anything, but if people want to, Public Works has been great, and the fire department, but Public Works has been great the last few years. They volunteer their time, and they help kind of ride the back of the parade, and they'll collect toys and food. And as always, we always throw out there too, if people want to write letters to the troops, whether it's veterans or anyone that knows a unit that's deployed, we've in years have also given it to the Veteran Services agent to disperse as they see fit. So hoping for a good year this year. It's going to be our 11th. So we're going to do a couple changes to some of the vehicles out there to make it a little interesting, but we hope to see everyone out there.
Any comments from the board?
Well, my kids love it, so let me just say that. So is it the same route?
Yeah, we're planning on the same road. It's a little tough. We want to try to keep everything the same, at least for now. There's construction going on and stuff like that, and we never know. Obviously, we're going to post the route on our Facebook page and whatever other social media we can get it out to. The only thing we ask is if this is a winter parade, so it's all weather related. We'll try to stay out there as long as we can, but if we get a blizzard or, there could be delays, we can't control traffic, we can't control icy roads, we can't control the general public, and if we have a big group of people, we're going to stop and try to help out. We're not, so the times that we always provide are ballpark. We always try to stay on target. We do have, again, this year, we're going to have an app that you can kind of follow the parade route like we did in the last few years, so.
I was selfishly asking because I live on Beltwell. So I was making sure you guys are still coming down.
Well,
My wife wanted me to ask that.
That depends if you're on the naughty or nice list.
Well,
Well, just remember, though, Santa's sleigh does not get stuck.
Right, that's right. We do our best to make sure we push through. If we got to give a push, we will.
You guys doing a fantastic job every year, and it's gratifying to see. With all the hardship that goes on over the years, to see these little kids out there. I know last year I got my grandsons out there too late, but still, to hear the sirens and the music going and everything else throughout the neighborhood, it gets you in the spirit.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
And it's rewarding with the kids, but I'll tell you also find like people in the 80s and 90s going out there waving. And
Hey.
it brings a smile on your face when you see everyone of all ages out
Oh,
there.
it does. Everyone likes it.
I was just gonna say that. Mr. Gerwa was saying how his kids love it. I love it too.
Yeah.
I enjoy going out there with my dog and
Yeah.
saying hi. And did you say this was your 11th year?
11th year.
It's amazing. That's
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
been going good, so we're going to keep
It
going
just-
if we can.
Just awesome. It's just great for the community, what you guys do year round, but right now, this time of year when people look for hope and just charitable purposes that you do with the food pantry, more than ever is needed. The collaboration you do with other town departments and getting everybody involved, fire department and the toys that they collect, and just the organization that you have to do to put it all together. It's just, must take you, when it ends, you must start right over it.
Yeah.
Over it again.
Little breathing room, but not much.
Yeah, but thank you.
Thank you.
Really, Chief, thank you for what
Yes.
you do and your department does.
No, Sergeant Furbush has a great team that works with him. And also, if you could acknowledge the tow companies, they're also out there helping us as well on that day.
Yeah, so Forest Towing, A&S Towing is one of our biggest. So they help us day to day out in the field. There are company tows they help us, like if we have a disabled motor vehicle or rest. They're out there helping us day to day, and for them, it's their way as well. And the two departments are great. Like, we can't do this without them. And the two departments, or the companies, they're out there volunteering. They have family. I mean, you're looking at sometimes 30 to 40 volunteers when it's all said and done, either on the trucks or helping with setup or different parts. So it's just an amazing team, and I have to thank, Chief Pupil, because when he was deputy chief, he was a supporter. This is my third chief, my second town manager. I mean, even Judy, when she was on the board, like, the board has changed. We can't do it without you guys, so we really do appreciate the support, but I can't do it alone without my volunteers. So I really appreciate everything that they do every single year to make this work.
It doesn't get done without you.
I appreciate
Simple as that.
It's a team effort. Yeah.
Chief, I'd like to say that this is just another example of the year-round community policing that the Pluint Police Department does. And Sergeant Furbush, you are certainly a credit to the force. And I know that it's not you alone. I know there's other officers involved, and like you said, the volunteers. But the idea is that you're spearheading this, and you make it a success every year. And the thing is that when people get up on Christmas morning, when you get up Christmas morning, you probably get the biggest smile of all, because you know that you've helped countless families, and like you say, in some cases it's just waving to Santa Claus. In other cases it's providing Christmas dinner that they may or may not have, or some toys under the tree that again, as the economy's tough right now, and it's always, every year we say that, but every year we get through somehow, and it's because of the spirit of Christmas that people like yourself provide. So again, speaking as the chair here, I want to say thank you very much for all you do, and all the volunteers, and Chief, all the work that both police, fire, and all the first responders do during the year. So thank you as a credit to both sides, both police and fire.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Probably should have a vote to allow them to use 121 Glen Road for staging the parade.
Is there a motion to use 21 Glen
So
Road
moved.
on December 7th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there anyone that's going to disappoint Santa?
It's cold.
Any discussion? All in favor? There you go.
Thank you.
We're not going to disappoint Santa Claus.
No cold this year for you.
No
Oh,
cold.
cool.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Hey, with the price of oil, we might need some coal. You never know, so might be more blessing than not.
Right? Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Much appreciated. Okay. Next agenda item is the Select Board discussion regarding the Finance Committee public hearing on November 20th special town meeting. I don't know if you want to.
Sure, so I can kind of recap what happened. So as folks at home may or may not be aware, there is a special town meeting that has been scheduled for Thursday, November 20th at 7:00 p.m. at the high school auditorium as a result of two petitions that were put forward for two separate warrant articles. As required, there was a public hearing before the Finance Committee that happened last Thursday on those two articles. The first article was an article to overturn the action of the Select Board with respect to the demolition of the Bazell Senior Center, the former senior center. As I provided as a part of the memo at the last meeting, we have a legal opinion from town council that is not binding. It's not within the purview of town meeting to take that action to overturn an action of the executive body by the legislative body. So it would be a non-binding article, and the Finance Committee heard and voted unanimously to recommend disapproval of Article 1. And then Article 2 is a financial article to appropriate $615,000 to be used for the repair of the Bazell Senior Center. That article, as a financial article, is within the appropriate jurisdiction of town meeting, and that was voted unanimously by the Finance Committee to recommend disapproval. So those were the results of the public hearing from Thursday.
Okay. A couple of questions. I know there were questions asked, and I don't know if we can answer them or not, but one of the questions that was asked was as far as the Board of Selectmen having the authority over there, because if you look at the charter specifically says that the town manager is in charge of public buildings, with the exception of school. So I don't know how the selectmen get involved in that.
Yep, it's very clearly within the executive authority. The buildings are within the care, custody, and control of the select board, and so it's within the select board's authority through both statute and case law to have control over buildings and vote on the.
Because the charter specifically says town manager. That's why I ask. Is I looked up the charter and it doesn't say anything about town manager.
Sure. Oh yeah.
That's the only reason why I ask is because it seems like we took a vote that, it seems like it's a town manager more decision than it is a select board decision.
Sure. I mean, and I'm understanding that the town charter talks about the town manager having control over the maintenance of those buildings. The executive branch of a town does have authority over the kind of underlying authority under case law and statute outside of the town charter to oversee those buildings, and that would include a vote to demolish. So that was town council's very clear on that. There's also, I think, a question about whether or not the warrant article was trying to oversee, it was overturned in action as opposed to a vote. It's pretty clear that's a distinction without a difference. The only action with respect to the Bazell that was taken that night was a vote. And so this would be an attempt to try to overturn that vote, which is outside of the purview of town meeting.
Okay, and I guess one question that I have on that is that I know you had mentioned that the building wouldn't come down prior to town meeting. What is the anticipated demo date that you're thinking of?
I mean, I think it's probably premature to talk about that now. We have discussed with the OPM and the project managers the demolition of the building, and it could have been demolished prior to town meeting. But we put a hold on that. I don't know what their mobilization schedule is from going forward. We haven't asked them. And I don't know what, I think weather may start to become a factor once we start to get, closer to the holidays. So it would just be speculation if I gave you anything now. We haven't re-engaged with that company and don't intend to re-engage until after the town meeting.
Okay, because my question is that, as you know, I want to bring this up as an article, a board to consider article at our next select board meeting. I just want to make sure that the building is still there to talk about. So it sounds like you're not looking to do anything prior to that day.
I would, if I could get it down between the 20th and the 24th, I think I would need to change careers, because that's a really fast demo.
Okay.
Because I believe the next meeting is the 24th.
Okay, so we'll be there for the next meeting.
It will not be taken down by the 24th.
Okay.
What purpose is it to bring up the vote again?
That's on my list, too.
Oh,
Sure. Number one, I talked to town council on it, and town council said it's perfectly within my right as chair to call for a vote on it. Maybe, and again, I don't know, but you're going to have a town meeting of which hopefully there'll be at least 150 people. There'll be people that'll be for whatever action's going on, against the action going on. Maybe one or more of you might have a change of heart for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not, I know one of the things that the Finance Committee talked about was, one of the things they talked about was the lack of a plan. Well, the problem is that you can't have a plan, with the building being demoed, or the plan to be demoed. I mean, if it turns out that town meeting votes to save it, and we have a majority of the board that says save it, we could establish a plan, make it either a community center or some other entity as we see fit. But that's, again, I think that's within my purview as chair to call for that, and I intend to do so. If the board still says, hey, we're going to vote to demo, then that's where it goes.
Yeah, I got two comments. It caught me off guard And I thought it would have been appropriate to give some heads up before saying that publicly. Personally, that's how I feel. And just so everyone realizes that the only members who can actually call or make a motion to reconsider were those on the prevailing side of the original vote, which you are not, just to be clear. You can ask for it, but you can't actually make the motion.
Hey, I can double check with town council on that, but thank you. Any other comments?
I
Just
agree
a,
with,
just a question, which you brought up, 150 to make a quorum. So now that we all know that this vote really is non-binding, right? Will people show up at 7 o'clock on a Thursday, on a rainy night, which is tonight, if it rains? If we don't have 150, what happens? I'm sure the moderator probably has an understanding as to what happens, but maybe we should tell the community, does it die for lack of a quorum? Does it get extended to another date until a quorum is reached? What are we telling the public on this?
So there are only two things that can happen at a town meeting that doesn't reach a quorum. Number one is a vote to dissolve the meeting, which occasionally means we're foregoing taking any other action on these articles.
It dies for lack of a quorum, is what we're saying.
The meeting dies and all the warrant articles that are there die. It doesn't prevent them being brought up again at some other future meeting, but that they're for all intents and purposes gone. The other possibility is a continuance to a date certain.
Okay. And how long does the town moderator have to wait to make that decision? So are we gonna be there, we all arrive at 6:30, we have our Cane's Donuts and coffee,
There you go.
and then at 7 it starts, and we don't have a quorum, and it's now 8 o'clock, it's now 8:30, it's 9 o'clock.
So
What, is there a time?
there's not an official time. It's within the purview of the moderator. The moderator is supposed to be acting reasonably. So if the moderator reasonably believes that additional time will provide for a quorum, then the moderator can provide that time. If the moderator doesn't think that it's a reasonable, so for instance, if we get to 7:30 and there's 30 people there, the moderator will probably not think it's reasonable that we're going to get to 150.
Right.
If we get to 7:30 and there's 145 people there, the moderator will probably think, well, it's reasonable that there's going to be, some stragglers that may come in, and we're going to wait a little while longer. But it's totally within the purview of the moderator.
Yeah, and the town is pushing the social media publicity or whatever to try to get people to this, to get the 150, so we're not, for lack of a better word, wasting our time on Thursday night.
Yeah,
So,
but
I mean,
we're posting
we
it on
got
social
things
media
out
and, yeah. So the other thing to be
encourage
aware of
people to
is
be there.
that I believe if the meeting can't come to a resolution as to what they want to do, the moderator has the authority to continue it on his own, but has to continue it to a date within 14 days.
Right.
So as you can imagine, given Thanksgiving, that becomes a really tricky.
Well, everybody's home for the holidays.
Oh, sure. That Friday after Thanksgiving, I'm sure would be a real popular date to have a town meeting.
Any further discussion? Okay. Communication, sir.
So, we have one communication. This is a letter from Robert Hutchins, who's the district treasurer for Shawshing Valley Technical High School, to the various member towns. This one came to me regarding a minor revision to their fiscal year 2026 budget. This was, this did, for the record, this did not change our apportioned share of the budget. So this doesn't impact the town's budget, FY26 budget. But there was a minor change of $96,000 in the Chapter 70 funding that Shawshing Tech received. So they actually received more than they had budgeted for. So that allowed them to make this minor modification to their budget. So that was that communications chair.
Okay, we have a board to consider. Is there a motion to execute the collective bargaining agreement between the town of Wilmington and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, ASME, Local 1703, Unit 1, for the period 1 July 2025 through 30 June 2028?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? And no opposed? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. And I apologize, Mr. Chair. The number 7, I believe, is listed as a board to consider, but in the past, we have not required a vote for the appointments to the Economic Development Committee. So it would just be a notification to the board that Jake Irwar has appointed an individual to the Economic Development Committee. His name's Matt Arsenault.
I'd also like to point out we still have one vacancy if anybody's interested.
And maybe one future vacancy.
Correct.
So
So,
we are looking for volunteers for economic development.
yeah, and as always, we have a bunch of volunteer committees around in town that many of them have vacancies or may have a vacancy in the foreseeable future that, if people are interested, either attend a meeting or go talk to the chair or talk to the town manager, look online, talk to Judy, Bev, and see if there's any interest, any way that, the person can get established in that committee. And we thank all the volunteers for that, including my fellow board members here for all the work they do on this committee and the other committees that they help support. Sir, what do we have? Public comments? Any public?
Yes, it's just me tonight.
Looks
Paul
like
Shell,
it.
448 Hopkins Street. I wanted to speak on something that Mr. Slagle spoke on regarding the FinCom and I think there's a great deal of ambiguity and confusion about funds being used for the demolition of the Bazell in the future, should that take place. When the Article 3 of the November 22nd, 2022 town meeting appropriated money for the town hall, the error that was presented to the people there was that the Bazell was disconnected from the town hall building project. And that was presented verbally by officials of the town, one being the chair of the Town Hall School Administration Building, Mr. Hooper, and the other being Mr. Eaton at in the position of moderator. And without going into great detail about them, they can be viewed on WCTV of the replay of that particular meeting at the 1:17 to about 1:22 or 1:23 time frame. But clearly, Mr. Hooper and clearly Mr. Eaton as the moderator disconnected the Bazell specifically by name and with regard to the town hall project and the appropriation that night, at that particular meeting, that to the extent that at that time and now and in the meantime, a lot of people, including myself and including the petitioners to this current special town meeting upcoming, that there was no connective tissue between the two. That being said, just most recently, and I did read some of this, I know Mr. West and Mr. Giawar and Mr. De Palma were there. I don't think Judy was there at FinCom and Mr. Kara was not. But I did briefly paraphrase email communication between some town officials, Mr. Slagle, OPM Dan Pilata of the Town Hall Building project, and Mr. Hooper and Mr. Kelly. And the sense that I get from Mr. Pilata, if you were to read the email, is that he's very apprehensive about using money from the town hall to put into the demolition of the Bazell School. And he's asking for bond counsel to provide a written opinion. And he also goes on to say that throughout the meetings of the Town Hall School Administration Building committee that with regard to the town hall project, that the Bazell was going to stay, quote, as is. So the written opinion that Mr. Slagle speaks of or writes of in this response, and the written opinion that Mr. Slagle spoke of at September 22nd Select Board meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you spoke about it at FinCom also last week, was that town council did, in fact, offer a written opinion that those funds could be used for this. And given what took place at that town meeting, given what Mr. Pilata's feeling on use of those funds is, and given that there has not been a release of that written opinion, and that written opinion has been used publicly to explain the town's position, that written opinion be released to the town, be released to the voters, so they know exactly what it says, so they know under what circumstances their money is going to be used for the demolition of that building. And I don't think that's unreasonable, and I certainly don't think that that is a attorney-client privilege thing. There is really no state secret there. You have an opinion that has been offered by town council that says those funds from that special town meeting can be used for the Bazell School, for the demolition of the Bazell School. And if that's what his opinion is, that's what his opinion is. But the public, myself, and I know other members of the public, would like to see what that opinion is. With regard to the other side of that, like I just said, at those timestamps, you can watch and see what they say. Mr. Hooper says that there's no plans for the Bazell School after these motions pass, referring to the two motions for new senior center and new town hall. So before the vote is taken, there is no plan for the Bazell School, according to Mr. Hooper. And in Mr. Eaton's input on it had to do with the question of a resident, where the resident was questioning, could we make the new town hall smaller, maybe lose the third floor, and in lieu of the third floor, put money from this article into the Bazell School to reno it, so you can use the Bazell School in lieu of a third floor and to downsize what the plan was for the new town hall. And Mr. Eaton ruled that to be out of order, that was for a separate warrant article at a separate town meeting. So those three things, Mr. Pilata's apprehension about using the money, Mr. Hooper's statements, and Mr. Eaton's statements based on the question by the resident that night. So that's all I have to say about that. I would like to see that written opinion that Mr. Slagle has quoted and has written about just to be released to the public so they can see what that is and what the basis for using town money from Article 3 of 2022 special town meeting into using it for the demo of the Bazell School. Off onto a different topic. This is with regard to public records requests. When I make a public records request, I expect one of four things to happen. I submit a detailed and descriptive public records request, and at the end of 10 business days, I would like to see that be responded to in one of four ways. Here, Mr. Chalifour, here's the records you request. I'm sorry, Mr. Chalifour, the records you requested do not exist. I'm sorry, Mr. Chalifour, the records you request may exist, but they're not in custody of the town. Or I'm sorry, Mr. Chalifour, there's an exemption to those records being released, but here is the recourse and the appeal process for that decision. All within 10 business days, and nothing more and nothing less. One last thing.
Go ahead.
Definitive subdivision plan, number 19-02, prohibits work as defined by the planning board from taking place on holidays. Tomorrow is a holiday. You can read between the lines on that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I see no other public comments. Announcements. Does anybody have any announcements? Mr. Gawa.
One quick one. I just want to call out that today marks the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps. And to quote, "In the face of fear, Marines move forward, not because they feel no fear, but because their cause is greater than fear itself." Thank you to all that served.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
Yeah, I have an announcement.
Mr. Gyra.
Little birdie told me this. I want to congratulate, and I want to give a shout out and congratulate and good luck to the Wilmington U12 cheerleading team.
Okay.
The 2025 state champions and earned a second place in New England this past Saturday at Mohegan Sun. The team is qualified for the national competition on December 5th down at Kissimmee, Florida. And also to the Wilmington 7 and 8 Papuana football team has advanced to the Super Bowl this coming Sunday at Tufts University versus Wakefield, and the kickoff is at 2 p.m. Go Cats, bring home the Super Bowl.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gyra. Mr. DePalma, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to the members of the Wilmington employees. First of all, I want to give credit to Mr. DePalma.
Absolutely.
Who came with an idea that we have our employees raise food, bring in food for the Wilmington Food Pantry. So we have done that over the last week. We had employees bring food here to Town Hall. There's still a very large amount of it in the manager's office. We're going to take it over to the food pantry shortly. We also had collections at the public safety building that Billy Kavanaugh, our fire chief, took the responsibility for. We brought in a ton of food. I really appreciate all the employees for thinking about other folks at this time of year and in these kind of extreme circumstances, and being willing to put themselves on the line a little bit to help out other Wilmington residents. In addition, our library has a food pantry shelf at the Wilmington Public Library. That's there during all the Wilmington library hours. So folks in need, with no questions asked, can go and pick up food from the food pantry shelf at the library. And the senior center has a Wilmington Food Pantry donation bin on site right now, and going to be going forward in perpetuity, I think, for donations to the Wilmington Food Pantry. So I just wanted to kind of throw this out there as a great idea that came from a board member to allow our employees to show their mettle and willing to help out the residents of town in their times of need. So thank you, Gary, and thank you everybody who works for the town who was willing to bring in.
Thank you, Tom.
Well, I think, number one, this is another opportunity to talk about the spirit of community within the town of Wilmington. And here's a suggestion, and Mr. DePalma made a simple suggestion. Hey, can we bring some food? Can we bring some food into town hall and get it to the food pantry? And all of a sudden, there's now, not just a can of soup, but boxes and boxes and bags of food and needed supplies. So it's great, when somebody's thinking out of the box. So I want to commend Selectman DePalma on that. I think that's great. Thank you very much on doing that, and thank you to all the town employees and everybody that put in different various donations. And the thing is that right now we're going through a tough time with these the SNAP program and stuff. So that there are avenues out there, and please, folks, take advantage of whatever opportunities that you can. If you're in need of food, go to the food pantry, the library, the senior center, whatever avenues you can, and don't be afraid if there's a neighbor that's in need. Get that neighbor some help as well. I mean, it's all part of the spirit of community. It's not as Sergeant Furbish was here talking about Christmas. This is Wilmington, 12 months a year, 24/7. So, again, thank you again to Selectman DePalma, and thank you to everybody here that helps support all these different programs. So I can't say enough about that. Thank you, Mr. DePalma.
Just quickly, I want to thank the employees. They gave, and that counts. And that just shows what a great town we have. And if you see a town employee, thank them. Thank him or her. They're the ones that filled up the boxes. So thank you very much, town employees.
A couple of quick announcements, if I may, is I wanted to thank everybody that was involved in the Horribles Parade. I think that Wilmington scared a lot of ghosts and goblins away from town, so a lot of candy was passed out, and thank you very much to all the volunteers and the parents and certainly the kids for dressing up in costumes and going around town for that. So, and for the Halloween, it looked like that, everything went successful there. There was a Cub Scout pack in town, Pack 136, that recently did a collection for veterans. So again, here's, the spirit of Wilmington. And tomorrow, we're going to honor our veterans, which is, we pick one day to honor veterans, but we do honor our veterans 365 days out of the year. So tomorrow will be a day to give formal recognition. But I think as Selectman Gaylwald was saying earlier, talking about the Marines, and we all thank our veterans. So on behalf of the town, thank you. And again, we'll come out in force tomorrow to again express our appreciation to our men and women who have served and continue to serve our nation. So with that, new business.
No, just
sorry.
so the board knows, I will not be at the service tomorrow. I've made them all, I try to make them all. I have physical therapy at that time for my knee replacement, so unfortunately,
You will be there in
I
spirit.
will not be there.
You will be there in spirit, and thank you. Any other new business? Mr. Manager, important dates.
Important dates. As the chair just mentioned, tomorrow's November 11th, Veterans Day. Town offices are closed, and we do have the Veterans Day ceremony tomorrow at the Town Common at 11 o'clock a.m. Rain or shine. So regardless of how cold it might be, please come out to the Common. November 12th, there's brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. November 15th, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. The week of November 17th through the 21st, we're having curbside collection of yard waste. November 19th, there's brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. As mentioned earlier, November 20th, we have the special town meeting at Wilmington High School Auditorium at 7 o'clock p.m. November 22nd, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. On November 24th, is our next select board meeting here at Town Hall, Room 9 at 7 o'clock p.m. At that time, there will be discussion of locally property tax policy with reference to classification for fiscal year 2026. So that is the tax classification hearing. November 26th, we have brush drop off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. November 27th is Thanksgiving Day. Town offices will be closed. November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, town offices will also be closed. November 29th, we have brush drop off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. December 3rd, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. December 6th, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. And then December 1st through December 5th, curbside collection of yard waste. Those are our important dates, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Our salute to service, it goes without saying, veterans. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank each and every man and woman who has ever served in any of our conflicts, from Revolutionary War up until today. I'd like to thank the people that currently, are men and women that are currently in uniform and protecting our borders, protecting our country, and all that they do. And I just hope that the ones that, everyone gets home safely that are in any type of conflict. So again, we'll recognize everyone tomorrow, but I know Wilmington does a great job of recognizing our veterans, 24/7, 365 days a year. So again, on behalf of the board, thank you very much to all of our veterans. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Thank you very much, folks, and we hope to see everybody tomorrow at 11 o'clock.